I got to say something to Bengals fans, the Bengals team, the mainstream sports media, and hell, even the mayor of Cincinnati, and everyone right now that's crying about the officials.
What did the mayor say? I didn't hear what the mayor said.
Apparently it wasn't good because you heard what Travis Kelce came out and said.
Yeah.
Because I didn't hear anything about the mayor until Kelce
either.
in the postgame called him a jabroni, which was great.
Jabroni.
But all I've seen are people crying. You said the refs helped in penalties, repeated down, hometown cooking. So since everyone out there is, spitting facts, I figured I would do the same. I got a couple for you, okay? Fact number one, Arrowhead, loudest stadium in the NFL.
Yep.
When in the history of the NFL does a blown whistle not end the play immediately, regardless of if anyone heard it or not? Has there ever been a time where a blown whistle doesn't end the play?
Blown whistle, that ends it.
Okay, so it looks like the rules were followed to a T there. You cannot punish the Chiefs because they have the loudest fan base, and no one heard it. That's not the Chiefs' fault. And for everyone saying they got a free down, they punted anyway, so shut up. It didn't do anything for them. Fact number two, making Joe Burrow uncomfortable. 5 sacks and 2 interceptions. He had a QBR of 56 and a quarterback rating of 70.2. The Chiefs' defense did what no other team's been able to do this year, and that is make Joe Burrow uncomfortable and slow down that offensive attack.
To me, that was the biggest surprise of the game, the way the defensive line was able to get to Joe Burrow. That was impressive and huge. I mean, I think they had 4 sacks in the first quarter. It was great.
5 total, 3 in the first quarter, 4 in the first half, right on, and you just didn't see Burrow face that kind of heat. You mentioned injuries. Third fact, the Chiefs were without McCole Hardman, Justin Watson, Juju Smith-Schuster, and then one of each of Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes' legs, and they still found a way. I want to talk about the fourth fact, the personal foul on Bengals defensive end, Joseph Asai, which ultimately put the Kansas City Chiefs in position for a successful game-winning 45-yard Harrison Butker field goal. Now, I've heard a lot of people saying, man, that's not a flag, and they feel sorry for him. Okay, sure. Maybe I can relate to feeling a little sorry for him, but it was 100% a penalty and avoidable. It's not only that Mahomes was heading out of bounds with the yardage he needed already gained, but he had a foot completely in the white. The reason that this happens, Chris, is something you see every single week in the NFL. The defensive player has to get contact on the quarterback, has to get credited with the hit. And dare I say it, has to let out that little bit of frustration as you're running hopelessly across the field with your season on the line and you watch a one-legged freak of nature somehow outrun you to the sideline and you have to let out that bit of frustration. It's just unfortunate that this time that happened, it ended up being what sent the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl.
There's no doubt that was a penalty.
But a flag nonetheless. Fifth, Mahomes on one leg. He wasn't pressured too much. He was sacked 3 times, which normally would have only probably been 1 sack. 2 times he went down on his own to avoid a hard hit. So maybe you sack him once, but what was Cincinnati doing? Where were they bringing pressure on a banged-up Chiefs offense? Mahomes was half able to move, and they let him stay in the pocket and cherry pick all day long to the tune of completing 29 out of 49 passes, over 325 yards, 2 scores with no INTs, and yes, he did give up the fumble, but the Bengals defense had nothing to do with it. Just slipped right out of his hand.
Slipped out of his hand. I mean, when things are that cold, it's hard to hold on to that ball.
So you can't give the Bengals defense credit for that. Yeah. Where were they at when you have Mahomes on a bum leg?
Credit to the offensive line for the Chiefs. They really did a great job.
Correct. And sixth, I'll end with this, from Eli Apple to the mayor of Cincinnati to all those Bengals fans out there. You didn't lose because of the referees or the NFL and Roger Goodell. You lost because you went up against a better team in an impossible venue in front of a crazy fan base, and you had to face the best quarterback of this era, Patrick freaking Mahomes. So take your Burrowhead and take your conspiracy theories and all your crazy excuses along with your great big ego all the way home with you back to Cincinnati, because here's what makes me happy. After the way you mouthed my Buffalo Bills, no one is going to remember the Cincinnati Bengals this season because you didn't do it. Guess who they're going to remember? Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is so sweet, if you ask me, Uncle Chris.
They still have to win the Super Bowl, though. If they don't win the Super Bowl, everybody's still going to be crying and sad, but they're there. They got a chance to win that Super Bowl.
And they are. going to win the
Think
Super
so?
Bowl.
That you're gonna
31-23 Kansas City.
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes wins his second Super Bowl MVP.
I hope you're right.
Should be great.